What's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Dayton Triangles franchise here on Madden 25, where we join among 31 other team builder franchises to create the revamped UFL. Our Dayton Triangles have taken a massive step back here in year number 3. We are now just 3-9, and clearly the losses that we had to the NFL have affected us deeply. But tonight we have the opportunity to play spoiler potentially. We host the divisional rivals in the Evansville Thunderbolts, who come in with a 5-7 record, but for the sake of how things have been looking within our AFC North division, we still have a chance to play a little bit of spoiler here because Evansville, even though they are 5-7, they still have an outside shot of making the playoffs. So with that being said, the one thing that we can do against this Evansville squad is that we can come out here, possibly play spoiler, and let's see if we can come out here and pull an upset off here, man. And I'm so excited to be able to come in here and have a great matchup at the newly revamped Welcome Stadium, man. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, man. It's gonna be a fun one. Full game action coming shortly against the Evansville Thunderbolts. But if you guys are excited as I am, go ahead and do a few things for me. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Any new one of those three could help out my channel tremendously, man. It means the world to me. But with that being said, enough from me. Let's go ahead and hop it down on the field in Welcome Stadium, where we'll play this Thursday night primetime matchup. Alright, boys, so we will go ahead and get things rolling here as the Evansville Thunderbolts come out onto the field to start. First drive of the game for either team is right away. Gregory Sanders throws a dot to the side of Jared Strong. I mean, not really much you can do there. That was great coverage by Jared Strong, but he gets mossed on the very first play of the game. Does not really bode well to how maybe the rest of this game is going to go if those type of 50-50 balls are going in the way of Evansville. I was hoping for like an incompletion there or something. And it shows it right away that it might be that Evansville is just destined to score here in this first drive of the ball game, because we end up this ends up being a offsides penalty on Evansville, so maybe we will be all right after all. But on a 1st and 15, Sanders drops back. We get some pressure, but somehow gets out of it and is still going to complete the pass to Alex Irvin anyways, as Irvin had an excellent game last time out. 4 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. And so we find ourselves in this difficult spot to where we're outside the red zone, and Sanders already has his takeover badge turned on. That X Factor is not to be messed with. He's looking to drop some bullets. 3rd and goal now as we try to keep Evansville out of the end zone, going to the outside, and it had to be a dime, and it absolutely was. Finding Alex Irvin again in the end zone. Touchdown, Evansville. And the Thunderbolts are gonna take an early 7-0 lead. But I think the key to this one is to win the time of possession. And if we want to come out here and win this time of possession, one of the things that we absolutely need to accomplish is we gotta run the dang football and just keep ourselves ahead of the sticks. So far, so good, as we're going to throw to the left-hand side. Good layer throw to Will Hunter. That is a mature, future pro quarterback throw, like the one that we just saw for Adam Collar, as we'll go ahead and run it to the inside. So Terrell Sharpen is going to go ahead and move things along for a nice little gain of 8. As Terrell Sharpen is going to also try to go ahead and pick up the first downs on the ground. So that's the kind of work that we want to see. Both Terrell Sharpen and Joe Spears putting together good initial carries for the team. And it sets up some wiggle room for Andrew Collar, who gets a clean pocket, fires over the middle, and he's going to find Will Hunter again for a huge first down. That's going to carry us inside the 10-yard line. But a couple of short runs later, we have a longer 3rd down. 3rd and goal for the 6. Collar dropping back, looks over left-hand side, and Will Hunter, while he is able to make the catch, he cannot extend across the goal line. And so, huge decision here early, and you know what? Scared money don't make any money. We're going to go for it. 4th and goal from the 1-yard line, and the offensive line is able to win one on our way to the end zone. Touchdown, triangles, and Dayton is going to be able to nod things up. So that's actually going to take us through to the end of the first quarter of action. I'll tell you what, boys, we are able to be able to even things up here right away, and I truly think that, hey, we might be able to make something cook here. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into the second quarter as we force Evansville to go 3 and out as we have a chance to take our first lead of the game. I want to throw for Grayson Heineck down the middle. Oh, he was open. We need to put just a little bit more touch there, and that was going to be a big time reception. So with that being said, we're going back to square one, and Terrell Sharpen is going to be able to pick up a handful of yards for us there, as that is now going to lead to a 3rd and 5. However, Terrell Sharpen gets hurt, so Joe Spears will probably have a more prominent role in the game. That being said, though, we still have one of the best quarterbacks in the UFL. Andrew Collar able to make something shake there. Is now 1st and 10 coming up. We're going to run it again up the middle for Joe Spears, who's able to find a ton of yards for a huge 1st down, and we find ourselves in Evansville territory. We're now inside the 40-yard line. And the good news is as well is that Terrell Sharpen, he'll be back on the next drive. He just has muscle cramps. But with that being said, though, gives us a little bit more of a look on Joe Spears, except he gets hurt as well. So we lose our top running back and our backup running back. So now the 2nd-round rookie in Heath Whitehead, he's now going to make an appearance in this drive as well. And thankfully, our boys are coming together. However, it seems like Joe Spears will not be coming back. He dislocates his shoulder. So now we get a chance at Heath Whitehead. And even Whitehead is able to get some good runs in. But it's another injury. I kid you not. We are just falling apart from a health standpoint. This time it's Grayson Heineck, the superstar tight end, who has to go back onto the sideline. And now it's 3rd and short. Looking over the middle, trying to get it into DeAndre Bazier. But Bazier can't hold it in. And that means it's going to be 4th and 1. And once again, we're trusting our offensive line. 4th down as we're going to try to run it up the middle. But Terrell Sharpen is not going to find the space he needs, as Evansville is going to be able to make a defiant stand down on the goal line. And that means Evansville will take over inside the 10-yard line. So it was a very strong drive here for the Dayton Triangles, but unfortunately for us, that does end up meaning that we did all of that work and we're not going to even get any points, which is, you know, you hate to see it for us, man. You really hate to see it. But with that being said, you know, still plenty of football left to be played. We're not freaking out by any means. But Evansville was trying to put together another little drive. Evansville throwing to the right-hand side. It's a beautiful dot to the sideline as that is brought in for a completion as Studebaker is able to get both feet in bounds. So that now is going to get it to about midfield, as this time they'll run up the gut. And we miss with Denario Allen, and it leads to a bunch more yards. Needed Denario Allen to fill that gap, and he filled the gap pretty well, actually. It's just that he remembered everything except actually making the play. So, with that being said, we are now in Dayton territory as they'll throw to the left-hand side, but that is going to be incomplete. Had his receiver open, but Greg Sanders just could not put it on the money there. And so it leads to a 3rd and 6. Sanders in a 5-wide set, dropping back, is going to go ahead. It's actually a stop real quick. And that is going to be a 1st down for Evansville. The drive will continue. A couple plays later, though, as they go with yet another play action. Looking over to run inside, and Peter Townsend just hesitates for a split moment, and it opens up space for the tight end, Tyrone Nelson, and it gives Evansville the lead. So we find ourselves down 14-7 as we got 3.5 left to play here in this first half. As Collar's going to go ahead and motion Whitehead out into, looks like, man coverage. And that means we're going to see Will Hunter continue to get some good work in. Able to slice up the Evansville secondary in the first half. We're hoping that continues. So, less than 3.5 left to play and counting. We're going to hand it off to Terrell Sharpen, who does come back into the game, and he'll pick up a handful of yards here. As even though we are within 3 minutes left of the first half, we're certainly not in any kind of rush to go and pick up some good yards. You know, we have good trust in our offense, and not to mention we do have all of our timeouts as well. But right before the 2-minute warning, we're going to snap this ball for Andrew Collar, and Collar's going to throw to the left-hand side, and he'll find DeAndre Bossier for a decent gain. And now we're in the 2-minute warning. With that being said, coming out of the 2-minute warning, we're going to throw it over the middle to Stanley Bryan, and that was actually a dangerous throw as that linebacker was trying to bait us there. Thankfully, we were at the very least able to make something shake, at least in completion. But on a 3rd and short, though, Will Hunter just finds a ton of space there once again, and we're forced to take a timeout because Will Hunter is going to leave the game. He hurts himself as well. And that's tragic to see because he's had over 100 yards on the day. So now here we are with a chance to try to put points on the board, and the ball is on the ground. Leon Thomas fumbles the football, bro. But then we take a closer look at this, and it looks like the call ends up being overturned anyway. So definitely a huge, just a huge little, bullet dodge. And it'll eventually turn into a touchdown for the 2nd-round rookie, Heath Whitehead. So very fortunate that that call was overturned. That could have gone either way. Instead, it's going to be a tied ball game here as we try to keep Columbus away from scoring any points before we go into the halftime locker room. We already scored ourselves, but want to try to keep it at 14-all because we do get the ball in order to start this second half. However, after a holding penalty, they're going to go ahead and just try to run it and try to create space. And we just have a huge breakdown defensively. If it wasn't for Nick Connon, that was going to be taken to the crib. And now Evansville with a chance to score another touchdown on the board after Tyrone Nelson able to make a quick catch. But that's the final timeout for Evansville. So the Thunderbolts don't have any more timeouts left to work with. So they're going to have to be extremely strategic about how they go about trying to come out here and make some of these big plays, as that was almost devastating for Evansville. But alas, Ty Moody drops the INT, and Evansville will just go ahead. They'll settle for a field goal instead with 1 second left on the clock. And so that's going to take us into halftime. And while we're waiting for halftime to the second half to get going, a couple of games I want to note is the Columbus Destroyers, who do have a convincing lead. They're trying to finish their season strong as they'll take on the Vegas Vipers. And then in other news as well, the Albany Imperials are playing the Memphis Showboats. Albany, a team to watch as they hold that final playoff spot right now. The very playoff spot that Evansville wants. So something to keep an eye on here as we progress through the rest of Thursday Night Football. But for right now, we're just going to try our best to continue to play spoiler. And Terrell Sharpen actually has had a solid first half. And that's going to continue here in this 3rd quarter. Able to pick up the first down. So now a 1st and 10 coming up as Collar drops back. He notices the one-on-one coverage, throws it up for Leon Thomas, who brings it in. Huge play for our wide receiver 1. And it's a huge first down that gets the Dayton Triangles into the red zone. So here we are inside the 20 and trying to finish the drive as we're relying on that ground gain. Terrell Sharpen gets a lot closer with a 3rd and short. But in this case, we're going to try to pull a fast one and just throw the ball through the air. And Leon Thomas, our best receiver, still on the field. Wide butt naked open. And Leon Thomas is going to find the end zone. Touchdown triangles. So Leon Thomas able to get one on the board. And another thing too, we end up taking the lead for the first time today. As Evansville now finds itself down by 4. As we'll go ahead and try to go to work here. Good. Oh, I was about to say, did J.J. Peters, did he actually make that tackle? Looks like they will credit him with the tackle, but running back was able to fall forward and pick up the first down as Greg Sanders again trying to set up play action, going deep downfield. One-on-one coverage with our top corner, but neither the receiver or the DB even saw the pass. A little bit of a odd sequence there, but we're glad we take it as it ends in an incompletion. As they'll try another deep shot down the field, but this time it's Ty Moody able to lock it down, hitting the rock the baby Selly, because he made a legitimate good play in coverage. Not one of those plays where it's like the DB does like the seatbelt after a 10-yard overthrow. So with that being said, 3rd and 10 coming up here. Sanders needs the first down as Sanders throws over the middle, but it's an inaccurate pass thrown behind the receiver. And that means we're going to force a punt. So with that being said, here we are midway through the 3rd quarter. We have a chance to pull away as we'll get things started here on our own 20-yard line as Collar drops back. Throws over the middle and finds Leon Thomas as Leon Thomas picks up a good set of yards. However, it does look a little bit shaken up. He will remain in the game, but definitely is feeling a little bit on that battered side right now. Thankfully, we have a solid running game, but it's almost canceled out by a fumble on the ground. Thankfully, Isaiah Connor, our backup right tackle, just happened to be in the vicinity. And so we're going to be able to come out here, and we will be able to continue to have the football in our hands. Just very close call there for Terrell Sharpen in particular, who up to that point is still having a pretty good game, just definitely not a perfect game by any means. As now, 1st and 10 coming up as Collar moves Sharpton into motion. They're going with the press coverage down the right-hand side. Collar's going to go for it, and it's incomplete. We had him open. Sharpton did have a step, but that was going to be a difficult pass to be made. And instead, it's going to be 3rd and long as Collar looks over the middle, finds DeAndre Bazier with a solid grab. But James Smith, our backup center, he goes down. Another offensive player going down due to injury. It's got to be like at least like the 4th offensive player to have an injury. And with us having like a backup offensive lineman in there, it starts to become noticeable as we do give up a sack. Very first pass play after the James Smith injury. That was our center that ended up taking the injury. So now it's 2nd and 19, and we're just trying to get a few of those yards back, which Terrell Sharpton does. But 3rd and 14 is certainly not ideal, and neither is a dislocated knee. So James Smith will effectively be done for the rest of the season. And we'll try to set up a screen here for Heath Whitehead, but we don't even get enough time to get that screen off. And so with that being said, we have to punt the football away. However, I will say that it was an extremely good punt. I do not remember a punter's name, to be honest with you. But we do get him inside the 5-yard line where Ty Moody. Actually, no, that's Nick Cotton. Nick Cotton makes a great deflection there. We'll see if they run the ball to try to get out of trouble. And sure enough, they do. And this running back is absolutely just a lethal weapon for the Evansville offense. We have not necessarily seen Evansville run the ball very much, but when they have ran the football, they actually been pretty effective. However, our passing defense is actually becoming more effective as the game has worn on, as Norio Allen actually forces an incompletion there. But not on the next play, however, as that is going to be completed by Gregory Sanders. And now Evansville trying to put a little something together here late in the 3rd quarter as Sanders throws over the middle, but it's nearly intercepted. J.J. Peters was able to get the deflection, but couldn't fully complete the play though. And now it's 2nd and 10 and running for his life as Cameron Spencer comes running down. Cameron Spencer, our superstar linebacker, able to bring him down and bring him down quickly. It is now going to be 3rd and 22. Here we go. Can our boys make one more good play as they set up a halfback screen? Able to make one man miss, but not able to get very far at all. The halfback screen only goes for a few yards. And that's going to bring an end to the 3rd quarter of action. It's been an exciting one here as we are now closing in on the 4th quarter. We're up by 4, and can we hang on so that we can actually play spoiler? So with that being said, we'll get things rolling here with a 3rd and short as we end up going 3 and out. And we will not be able to force a 3 and out ourselves as that ends up being picked up for the 1st down by the Evansville running gain. So now, a couple of plays later, here's we try to press him up at the line of scrimmage, but able to find a quick answer. J.J. Peters, however, able to make the tackle happen in the open field, so receiver doesn't get very far afterwards. But with that being said, we have a chance to end the drive, and we might have done it here. Except there's a penalty, but the penalty is going to go against the offense. We will end up declining it, as it will bring up 4th down. Yet, here they are, 7 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. We're going to press across the board, and it doesn't work. It does not work out there. Probably should have pressed with our safeties as well, because that was a quick answer. And so the drive will continue for right now as Sanders throws to the right-hand side, is able to find Irvin down the sideline. J.J. Peters able to eventually track him down. But that being said, boys, we will end up seeing Evansville in the red zone. And they're drawing a lot closer here in the final 5 minutes of this game. 3rd down coming up as we're trying to hold it down. 3rd and 5, looking over the middle, and we have a busted coverage. We lost the inside leverage, and Tyrone Nelson is going to give Evansville the lead. So with that being said, 4:25 left to play in the ball game. This could be our last possession depending on how things shake out. So we got to make it count, and DeAndre Bazier is going to come out here, and he will do exactly that. DeAndre Bazier is going to get Dayton set up at about the 45-yard line, and a potential game-winning opportunity for the 3rd-year quarterback, Andrew Collar. So it starts with a little bit of a curl flats concept. We'll step up and throw one out to DeAndre Bazier, who does hang on and pick up the 1st down. Certainly not in any rush by any means, but a couple plays later, after a couple of bad losses, gonna have to hold on to his ball a little bit longer on 3rd and 14. And we end up getting sacked in the backfield. That's just the worst thing that you could possibly have. That's Daniel Wadden with the sack. And now 4th and 26, just kind of hoping for something to happen here. Collar stepping up, is going to throw it downfield, and the prayer works. Except there was a flag. Please don't let it be on us. And the holding is going to go against us, bro. So that huge gain, I think it was like a 45-yard catch, it ends up getting nullified. So now it's 4th and 36. I mean, what can you even do here? You're just hoping to get a little bit of time, but Collar doesn't get it. The ball is fumbled, and it ends up being recovered by Evansville. Regardless of whether it was a sack or not, it would have been, Evansville ball. Thankfully, we are at least able to get the 3 and out, which is huge because at least we still have a chance to win this thing. But Cameron Thomas, the undrafted 2nd-year player out of the Delta Devils in Mississippi Valley State, is going to give us some more life all of a sudden. So the second chance on us starting inside Evansville territory. Can we make it shake out this time around? Bazier able to go ahead and pick up some yards, but didn't get out of bounds though. So we'll go into the no huddle quickly. 3rd and inches is Bryant. He's going to get moving in the pocket. Throws to the left-hand side and finds DeAndre Bazier again inside the 15-yard line and even able to get out of bounds as well. So we have plenty of space to operate. 38 seconds left, but no timeouts. Collar throws to the left-hand side and throws a dot. It's to DeAndre Bazier, the the fifth-round player out of Wake Forest, as DeAndre Bazier is going to give Dayton the lead with 30 seconds left to play. And now our defense just got to come out and make a defiant stand. Here we go, 30 seconds left. Looking over to the left-hand side, and Jared Strong wanted to hit stick but mistimes it. So the tackle is missed completely. Just an immature move there. Not going for the sure tackle. And now we're going to see Gregory Sanders go out on the loose. They will use a timeout. And I would imagine that one more first down gets into the field goal range of this Evansville kicker. So let's see if we can hold him from that, as they will end up throwing it away on 3rd and 11. The pressure was coming and a sack would have ended the game. So now 4th and 11. They're going to have to throw this one to the end zone or go with the sideline. They want it all on this one play. Sanders steps up and throws, and it's caught, but it's caught by a Dayton defender. It's Ty Moody, who we brought in through free agency, and the Dayton Triangles will hold on, and they will take down the Evansville Thunderbolts in an exciting shootout, but we get our 4th win of the year. So like your typical division rivalry game, what we saw was that this game was extremely competitive the entire time. It literally came down to the last possession, but thankfully our guys had the resiliency to come out on top, and our boys were able to get a big time win here at home in order to maybe build some momentum going into next season. And it starts with our quarterback, Andrew Collar, who really bounced back after really struggling the past 2 to 3 games. Andrew Collar had 240 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day, but we did end up taking 4 sacks in this one. He also was very efficient, going 19 for 25. And I think what really helped as well was our ability to really come out and run the ball extremely effectively. We had 3 running backs carry the ball today, and they were all effective. Terrell Sharpen, our lead running back, he nearly had 100 yards. Joe Spears found the end zone. And then our 2nd round rookie, Heath Whitehead, the rookie out of Cal, able to also find the end zone as well. He had 2 carries for 10 yards. The big story in this one, though, is the emergence of Will Hunter, who had one of his best games since joining the team through free agency last year. He had 100 yards on the day. Couple of other receivers touching the ball, though, DeAndre Bazier and Leon Thomas, both having about 70 yards apiece and both finding the end zone. But more interesting is that only Leon Thomas, DeAndre Bazier, and Will Hunter had any catches. Nobody else really got any targets, or at least so to speak of. Now, the defense, listen, the defense did have its struggles today, and 27 points is not something to really write home about, but they did enough to win, and that's what matters. Niles Cotton led the team in tackles with 11. J.J. Peters, the 1st round rookie, continues to fly all over the field. He had 10 total tackles in the game. Most of those were solo tackles. We also did a solid job getting pressure, but it came from our linebacking core, though. J.J. Peters was able to get a sack today, and so did Cameron Spencer. Both of which were able to secure a sack in the bowl game. Ty Moody was the only man to have a turnover. He got that turnover in the very last play of the game, but there were many opportunities to get some more interceptions, as Ty Moody should have had a second one before the end of the first half, and then a few other guys had pass deflections as well, which I consider drop picks. So not only do we get the win, but what we also get is a player upgrade for one of our offensive linemen, Anton Mills, who is already shaping into a pretty good offensive lineman for us. I don't have any complaints about him at all. Well, we're going to put an upgrade point into agility, and he is going to upgrade even further He is now going to be a 79 overall with a +2 to pass blocking finesse. He's turning into a pretty good football player for us, man. But even though we were able to get this win, and we even saw one of our players get upgraded, what we did end up seeing is that we had multiple guys go down with multi-week injuries. Grayson Hydick is one of them. He had an abdominal tear and is going to be out for a couple of weeks. James Smith has a dislocated knee. He said he's out for 5 weeks, but it's very possible, because he has to go on IR, that he might be done for the rest of the season. And then our number 2 wide receiver, Will Hunter, suffered a torn labrum, and so he's going to be out for 4 weeks as well. It's an extremely tough pill to swallow for our team, and so multiple players on the offensive side of the ball are going to need to step up and produce now that we have starters no longer in the lineup. So because one of our players did have to go on the IR, what we need to do is I wanted to take a look and see who we have available on our practice squad and see if there was somebody out there that was intriguing in terms of bringing up onto the team. And there was one player that did end up getting my attention. It's this Jacobs guy at left guard. Now, Jacobs also has some experience playing at the center position, and we actually do have an upgrade for him as well, which we're going to go ahead and use. So Casey Jacobs gets up to a natural 64 overall with the +3 to lead blocking, +2 to pass blocking. But what we're also going to do as well is we're going to go ahead and bring Casey Jacobs up. He is I believe he is an undrafted rookie, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to go ahead and sign him from the practice squad so that we can build some depth on our team on the offensive line while we have one of our starting centers in James Smith, while he is sitting at being hurt at the moment. But that being said, guys, we actually do not have very many games left in this season. So what we will go ahead and do in the next episode is we'll get through these next couple of games, and then we'll save the other 2 games for maybe one more episode in the regular season. So what does that entail? So that means what we will end up doing is that we will play the New Jersey Generals at home to get things started in the next episode. And then we will go on the road to take on one of the better teams in the NFC, in the Charleston Dirty Birds. This will be the first time that we take on Charleston in this series, so can't wait to see what their uniforms are looking like. And I'm looking forward to see how the younger players on our roster step up. Maybe this is a moment to where we can look back and see this as an opportunity to really build some confidence going into the offseason. And it really shows that, hey, we might not be as far away as we originally intended. We might have just had some bad beats early in the year. Who knows? But with that being said, guys, that is going to go ahead and wrap things up. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, man. If you did, make sure you go ahead and do a little bit of that typical YouTube self-promo, because any new like, any new comment, and any new subscriber helps out the channel tremendously, man. So it really does. I would really appreciate that in the bottom of my heart if you would help a brother out. So that being said, boys, this is John J Gaming on the mic signing off, but hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.